Hi there, my name is Kay Moon and I'm a twin flame channel and Western astrologer. And this is a video about the full moon in Capricorn occurring on July 13th at 2:37 p.m. if you happen to be on the eastern seaboard of the United States. This is the video update for twin flames and divine counterparts. Please check a time zone converter for your local time. This particular full moon is a full moon that is, in fact, full of consequence. You are going to feel the weightiness of this full moon when it comes to the choices that you're making in your connections. This full moon takes place here at the 21st degree of Capricorn, pretty darn near close conjunct to Pluto, with Uranus and the Sun Mercury series connection in the mix. With this full moon energy, it is telling us that change is upon us and that it is non-negotiable that we figure out what change steps we need to make. In at least one area of life, for most of us, the area of life governed by Capricorn is asking us to supply far more structure to it at this time, or in some way change the structure of it. Pay attention to the axis in your natal chart Capricorn and Cancer sit on, because it is that axis where this change is being brought to bear. Okay. This particular full moon, let's have a look here. We've got Juno, the divine feminine, sitting with Neptune right there in Pisces. I've talked about this for several lunations prior to now. She's moving through a process of release, surrender, and letting go, coming into deeper contact with her intuition, spirituality, and connection to the unseen world. This is a time of heightened creativity for many divine feminine energies. But if you are the type of person who does not do well in the world of flow, you may find this energy very challenging. She does sit here through the end of the year, so get comfortable with this. This particular energy is meant to be helping the divine feminine energy clear and release a cycle so that she can begin anew at the top of next year in the peak of the union window in January. We have that releasing through the feminine fields with Juno sextiling this full moon. Sextiles indicate an opportunity for supportive energy. So the full moon energy is supporting divine feminine when she's willing to integrate the necessary steps that this full moon have indicated she needs to take. Unfortunately, Capricorn is not really known for the fun steps. That's Taurus. Capricorn is more known for the take your medicine steps. It's known for doing the appropriate things at the appropriate time. Taurus is in the mix for her too, with this transitional energy coming from the North Node and from Uranus. We see Mars sliding into the mix by the end of July, speaking with this combination. It's a very exciting energy for her. And it's a period of time where Pluto, who wants to create closures and completions, Pluto, who wants to move us through a resurrection cycle and have us confront our fears, death, afterlife, rebirth. Pluto, who wants us to not be manipulated by our own fears or by other people's, is showing up in the mix for her and saying, it's okay. It is safe to change. It is safe to let go. The thing you're going to have to do in order to let go is not be attached to what you're afraid of happening. For the divine feminine energies who recognize themselves operating in polaric energy, this is a period of time where if you've been in separation, you may in fact find that soulmate energy really locks into place this month and through the end of the year, bringing a new divine connection to you during this union window as Mars gets activated by the original divine counterpart Uranus and changes your path. Whom you thought you might partner and pair with will be someone different if in fact you are ready for that. For those that don't identify in polaric energy, who are listening to this, identifying themselves in both and energy, masculine and feminine, you're going to find that this period of time is one where your feminine energy is looking to complete some cycles of operating a little too loosey-goosey, a little too anything goes, a little too go with the flow. And this Capricornian energy with Pluto conjunct the full moon is closing out that cycle so that you can transform into something that's far more nurturing and supportive for you in your connections and in your life. For fuller details on that, I recommend you have a listen to the Lightworker energy update. Okay. We also have Juno square Venus at this particular moment in time. This is going to be interesting because of the way Neptune is in the mix. There could be a little bit of love's longing, a little bit of hastiness to fill a bit of a void in partnership due to insecurity in love or enoughness when it comes to love and attractiveness. There could be a lot of insecurity about oneself that can, at this time, unfortunately, force an ending where one isn't required and create some sabotage behaviors in connection. During this period of time, if you'd like to bypass that, the trick for you is going to be vulnerability. Express yourself from your heart. Here's Sun, here's Mercury, here's a nice, beautiful stellium in the sign there of Cancer. The more you can be expressive. So remember, last two lunations, what I shared was it's going to be unclear for a little while. If you need to have an important conversation, give it a minute. Now is the moment when the minute is up. Stop ruminating, stop contemplating. This is the time to have the conversation. This is the moment to share what there is to share, to be honest, to reveal from your truth in your heart space. During this period of time where there has been behavior that has been a little bit, let's just say, infidelitous between counterparts or inside of connections, this is the period of time where you may stumble upon information that reveals the truth to you in no uncertain terms. It's important with this kind of thing that you do two things. One, don't let your fear run away with you. Don't catastrophize, don't awfulize, get support. And two, don't gaslight yourself either. Don't put yourself in a position to ignore the red flags that have been there all along. Where the truth is the truth, trust yourself. Okay. If that happens to be your circumstance and situation. Okay. Suspicious can run high, but intuition actually counts for a lot. So I was actually just reading a statistic recently that when partners have, out of 100% of cases, 80% of the time, one might be lied to. People who are having the affair tend to lie 80% of the time. And in about 70% of the cases, it is the person who was being lied to or being gaslit whose intuition had it right to begin with. Those are some pretty high numbers. So pay attention to your intuition at this time and give yourself the fairness of having the conversations you need to have if this is in fact something that's on deck for you. But this is, when I'm interpreting this energy, I'm seeing this is for a much smaller group of people. The majority of you do seem to be having greater conversations around vulnerability and transformation and change when it comes to structures of your connections and allowing these connections to be better set up in ways that are more inclusive and honoring of your emotional congruence and emotional integrity. Let's have a conversation about divine masculine energy right now. We have Jupiter there inside of Aries at that 8th degree. We've got a sextile to Chariklo. Chariklo is all about blessings and the divine having your back, and to Pallas right here. Pallas is all about protecting your investments, protecting what matters to you, protecting your resources. These two sextiles are empowering divine masculine energy to take a stand for itself. So your masculine energy in your own self, there may be some illumination during this full moon in Capricorn where your internal masculine energy is saying, I'm going to need to draw a line in the sand around certain things. And where you choose to do that, you will in fact find that there is lots of universal support for you in your connections. We also have divine masculine energy having a square to Pholus, 90-degree angle. There's fullness there in Capricorn at this full moon. And there can simultaneously, because of the not too close, but close enough to not be out of the picture, Chiron speaking to Jupiter, that combo of Pholus and Chiron can bring in a sense of nothing really ever works out for me, woe is me energy, where there is a pity party going on. What's happening is there is a part of the subconscious that is actively saying to our divine masculine energy fields, it's okay to stand up for yourself. It's okay to draw a line in the sand. It's okay to have better boundaries. It's okay to be clear about what you need. It's okay to have needs, which is something I see a lot of masculine energies struggle with. They frequently, when they don't feel safe to have needs, if we're exploring people who live in the polarity of divine masculine energy, can more often than not manifest in distorted feminine energy with this kind of loosey-goosey, anything goes, no boundaries, because I'm not safe to express my needs with the counterpart or people of the other polaric energy. This is a period of time where the subconscious mind will bring to your attention that this is probably not working well for you, and it is very necessary to start making appropriate either endings and separations. That's Pluto in Capricorn. Resurrection cycle begins with death, confronting fears to have more emotionally vulnerable conversations and being transparent about the fact that I'm a human being and I have needs in your connections. We also have Jupiter opposite the shaman's asteroid here in Libra. And this brings an energy in of divine masculine energy being on a journey to retrieve a part of self that may have been lost in past relationships. So look back at the patterns in your relationships. What patterns and what parts of yourself were repressed, excluded, not able to be available, or not able to be accepted by your partners. During this period of time, divine masculine energy internally will say, I cannot afford to be in connection without this part of myself at the table. It is time for me to bring that part of myself back online, whatever that part of self is. Okay. So there is a bit of self-retrieval. This might come with quite a bit of soul work intensively going on. Certainly therapy is recommended, not just for divine masculine, but also for divine feminine energy where it is applicable for certain people. We also have this energy of divine masculine square Lilith. Where is she? Here she goes right there in Cancer. And that energy is bringing up triggering emotions that are demanding new. What did I write there? Can't even read in my own handwriting. But it looks to be, by looking at the chart, these emotional triggers squaring divine masculine energy are bringing up a need for new behaviors when it comes to the way we deal with people in our connections, so that our emotions, we can feel emotionally safe in our connections. So whatever that may be for you, you may need to have a conversation with someone about the quality of their listening. Maybe they listen in a way that constantly cuts you off and you need them to stop that, or the quality of their speaking. Maybe they don't reveal, or maybe they're not vulnerable, and so you're always doing guesswork. Those are just two examples of a full compendium of things that could be coming up for you when it comes to what your emotional triggers are saying you now need in relationship in order to feel safe to be present, safe to show up, safe to be connected. Okay. So it's an exciting time because there's a lot of change in the world of connection that is being brought forward by our internal divine masculine energies. I've recently heard there's a lot of proposals going on, people getting married. That's very exciting. I've also recently heard there are some separations going on, some divine masculine energies saying the love is here, but there's not enough tools for this to work. So we need to be separate from one another right now. Whatever your divine masculine energy internally is saying to you about the container you need to build for your connections to be healthier, the signals would have been on the horizon for a long time prior to this moment, but this is now the moment for change and conversation. Okay. Really exciting time for both counterparts. I'm looking forward to seeing how all of this unfolds. If you'd like to have a look at this in your connection, please book with me. I do have 30 minutes available this Thursday and several 1-hour appointments available next week. The end of the end of July is wide open. So definitely feel free to book if you would like to take some time to have a look at these things within your connection. Thank you so much. Take great care and bye for now.